Good morning, you're welcome to Hard Talk on GH1 TV. My name is Kafui Day, and today I am on the 4th floor of the headquarters of the National Democratic Congress. I'm speaking with a gentleman who was the head of communications for the campaign in 2008. He was also the head of communications at the presidency when Professor Mills was president of Ghana. He's currently the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, and his name is Koku Anyidoho. Koku, good morning.
Good morning, Kaf.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
We learn from failure and not from success. This is the third time the NDC is losing an election since 2000. What have you learned?
Well, good morning, Kafui. Good to see you. And I'm sure good morning to everybody out there. Lovely morning here on the 4th floor of the National Democratic Congress. Did you say we lost the election?
Yes, by the figures given to us by Mrs. Osei.
Well, of course, a concession was made. So we're taking it in our stride. Yeah, we may have a few challenges with one or two things, but hey, the truth of the matter is that the president has conceded.
You don't believe that you lost the election?
Well, Kaffi, I'm not going to go there. The important thing is that we have conceded defeat, and we are ready for handing over on the 7th of January. We don't intend to do anything to mar that process. President Mahama is going to hand over a peaceful Ghana to the incoming president, Nana Akufo-Addo, and the MPP. And so that's our focus now, making sure that the peaceful Ghana that President Rawlings handed over to President Kufuor, the peaceful Ghana that President Kufuor handed over to President Atta Mills, may his good soul rest in perfect peace, and the peaceful Ghana that President Mahama is going to hand over to Nana Akufo-Addo on the 7th of January. It is our prayer that Nana Akufo-Addo, president-elect, when he becomes president, will continue on that path of peace and tranquility and stability, because as President Mills will say very often that without peace, there can be no development. And we believe that we have also invested heavily in peace. We have invested heavily when it comes to infrastructure. And we should be the last group of persons who want to do anything, to destroy the work that we have done. So, Kafi, if you ask me, we are getting ready for the handing over.
Let me bring you back. Did the MPP win the election?
Kafi, I don't think I want to belabor that point. The truth of the matter is that the NDC has conceded defeat.
What do you believe?
I mean, you know that
What do you believe?
We have conceded defeat.
Yes, that's a fact.
No, I mean, let's not run away from the fact
But have you accepted?
Oh, we have accepted.
You've accepted defeat?
Oh, yes. What else can we do? If you concede, you accept. I mean, like I said, we don't intend to, as it were, create any problems for this country. We believed that we should have won, but as it is now, we didn't win. Some other people have won. We'll hand over to them. Let them continue. We wanted JM to Twaso. Somehow it didn't happen that way. So our prayer is that Nana Akufo-Addo will Twaso. It's all about developing Ghana. Kafi, look, in my heart of hearts, I will never go on my knees and pray for Ghana to collapse only because we are in opposition, and so you want power, and so the country shouldn't move forward, so that once nothing moves forward, then it inures to the benefit of the opposition. No, that's not going to be our style. We wish this nation well. Indeed, if the MPP succeeds in moving this country's development onto another level, why, we all stand to benefit from it. So we're going to be a very responsible position, Kafi. Of course, we'll continue to remind them about their promises, but it's not about wishing them any ill and hoping that they never get anything right. No, that's not going to be the style. Let them get it right, and it inures to the benefit of all of us. If education is free, if petrol is free, if there are no more taxes, Kafi, I will also benefit from it. So indeed, we wish them well.
Are you living a nightmare right now?
Oh, no, how?
You had a dream that Nana Addo was the president.
Yes, Kafi.
Have you woken up and gone back to bed? You said you couldn't sleep again. You woke up and you couldn't sleep.
I woke up a long time ago and helped to execute the election. And so, Nana Akufo-Addo is going to be sworn in on the 7th of January. I mean, some of the things that we say.
So it's not a nightmare you're living in?
No. Well, we've been in a position before for 8 years. If I come to think of it, Kafi, 8 years of opposition, helping President Mills win election for the NDC. 8 years of trying very hard to build a better Ghana, expand infrastructure, build a strong and resilient economy, change the face of governance that is moving away from the politics of vindictiveness to the politics of inclusion and acceptance, that yes, we will have our different political views, but when the mandate is given to you, it is not about pursuing a policy of vindictiveness. Yes, the laws of the land must work, why not? But it is not a conscious effort to want to harass and dismember a particular political party. So President Mills began it, President John Mahama continued, and that is the kind of Ghana that we want President Akufo-Addo to continue to build. So combine 8 years opposition, 8 years in governance, 16 years, maybe some of us have never taken a leave. Maybe it's about time that we also, go back, take a little bit of a rest, and then, hey, let others continue.
Would Prof. Mills have won this election?
I don't want to, let's not go into that. Let's just say that.
Why not?
No, President Mills passed on.
Yes, so if he were alive.
So he didn't contest this election.
If he were alive.
So let's not go into any phantom anything.
Speculation is the realm of politicians. Would you think he would have won this election?
No, I don't want to go into that. I don't want to skate on such thin ice. I don't want to skate on such thin ice, no. I mean, I'm not going to whip any wind, or fight any air. President Mills passed on the 24th of July, 2012. May his soul continue to rest in perfect peace. We gave him a befitting burial. There was no template. We had to create a template ourselves. Led by Mr. Totobi Kwachi, who was the chairman of the organization committee, Commodore Steve Obimpenko. That also was a learning experience on its own, burying a sitting president, Kafui, with all the tears in one's eyes. Your political father, your political mentor, everything is gone. But in 3 weeks, you had to organize a burial and do it and make sure it's done properly. That was an experience on its own. Of course, we continued another 4 years. Let's just say that the will of God is not the will of man. So if you ask me whether President Mills would have won, I'll tell you something, Kafi. When President Mills passed on, in the midst of the heavy fog of not knowing what to do with oneself, one night I opened the Bible and then I just opened it. I had to read something. And it took me to Isaiah 55, verses 8, 9, 10 going. He says, look, my ways are not your ways, neither are my thoughts your thoughts. As far as the heavens are from the earth, so are my ways and my thoughts far away from yours. He is the creator, he is God. Sometimes we sit on earth and we want to play God. And he looks at us, he laughs, and he does the things, and you wonder, what happened? We believed we were going to win this election. All the pointers that we're going to win these elections. But hey, as it is now, the MPP is going to run a new government on the 7th of January. All I say is that I give thanks to God that Ghana continues to remain a haven of peace. That's the most important thing for me. Why? So that we can walk around, so that we can sit down here today and have this decent conversation. Otherwise, can you imagine if there was, missiles all over the place? Pa, 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 po, 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 pa, pa, pa. You are disputing the election.
Was there potential for that if the president had not conceded?
Oh, certainly.
On the 9th?
I mean, certainly, Kafi. I mean, if you finish voting at 5, so the law says. But the law also says that if you are in the queue before 5 o'clock, you must be allowed to vote. So up until 10 p.m., in certain areas, people were still voting. Now, if by 1 a.m., the opposition party comes out, holds a press conference and says, they have collated all the figures, and they see that they have won, so the president should concede immediately. And all the things that were happening in the media, you think that if by now the results were still hanging, there wouldn't have been massive tension. President Mills and the NDC did what we did for the sake of peace. Look, I recall in 2004, that election also we believed that we won the election. That was the one that the late Jacob Lamte held a press conference at the Castle Gardens and declared MPP winner, even before the EC could come out. Same thing they did in 2016. What did President Mills say? He said, look, young men, why? Let them have it. I am not going to become president on the drop of any innocent Ghanaian blood. If it is the will of God, 4 years will soon pass, and Ghanaians will give me and the NDC the mandate. I will never forget that. It was in Koku Hill. Kafui, 4 years passed, and indeed, as Professor Mills put out in a prophetic manner, Ghanaians gave him the mandate. Hey, President Mahama is not going to disturb the peace of this country. The NDC is not going to disturb the peace of this country. Of course, we heard all the things that were coming from the side of the opposition prior to the elections. There was going to be mayhem. There will be death. There will be blood if they are not declared winners. All the things that happened, Kafui. So at that point where this thing was hanging, and why? In all honesty, we had dropped some parliamentary seats. Those ones, let those MPs deal with the issues. But we were believing that we were winning the presidential. But long and short, Kafui, let's just thank God that President Mills and President Mahama and the NDC considered for the sake of Ghana. Ghana does not belong to any political party. Ghana belongs to all of us. So we will not ride on the wings of heavy partisan politics and disturb the peace of this country. I'm happy that I'm alive. I'm a Ghanaian. I'm happy I participated actively in the elections of 2016. I've been doing it for how many years? I'm still Deputy General Secretary of the NDC in charge of operations. As party leaders, we have 2 more years on our mandate into 2018. The most important thing we need to do now is to continue to give energy to the base of the party. Give energy to the base of the party. Of course, there will be some introspection. Now that we don't have a government, it is the party that is going to carry everything. In fact, per our constitution, once we are in opposition, the leader of the party automatically is the national chairman. That's the constitution. So you don't have a government, you don't have ministers, you don't have CEOs, you don't have DCs. The party has to run everything. So let's just say there's a lot of work ahead for us as national executives. Chairman Podufi, the 6 vice chairpersons, Ofosu Ampofo, Anita and Harizako, Betty Mold and co. Then, of course, the secretariat itself, which is run by the general secretary, and then his 2 deputies.
So there's a lot of work ahead.
There's a lot of work ahead.
But let me just bring you back to the early hours of the 8th of December. Would you agree with some who say that the press conference that was held by Mr. McMenu was a response to a provocation from the spokesperson for the Mahama campaign, who released a statement purporting to say that the NDC was in a comfortable lead? And so when I spoke to Kojo Oponkroma last week, he said they had to respond to that particular press release. So you brought this upon yourself.
Well, you see,
if you had sat somewhere, as you say in Ghana, and not said anything, they wouldn't have responded with their press conference.
Well, Kafui,
for you to come again and do a counter response.
Yeah, Kafui, you can do all the analysis.
Why did she do that, by the way?
You are allowed. I mean, you are in the media. You can afford to do your ifs and buts on some of the issues.
Why did she come out like that?
As a party person, I keep telling my friends, I mean, all my friends, that I will be the last person to sit on any network and publicly say that this person and that person and this person and that person are the reasons why we are where we are. No. As leaders, you ought to carry the burden. So for me, if you ask me that question, I'm not going to answer it. Let others say what they want to say. For me, the important thing is to support the secretariat, support the general secretary, support FEC, that's the Function Executive Committee, and let's look at what we can do. As Professor Mills said, if it's the will of God, Kafui, 4 years will soon pass.
But was it not a failure of the communications to come out and make that statement, which now occasioned the press conference, which occasioned a response from Peace Council and the EC, and then you had to give that early morning press conference? I don't know whether you were asleep and had to be woken up or anything. Those were the chain of events. Well, and we were covering it
Kafui,
minute by minute.
Yes, we will leave that for people, to the historians to tabulate and the political scientists to add it to their stock of lecture notes and we as a political party.
Defeat has mellowed you, Koku. This is not you.
How?
Yes. You would have responded vigorously to this.
Please, give me some credit, Kafui. I don't just go out there. All the things that I did in the heat of the election, I was head of a director of operations at the headquarters. You are in the heat of an election. Why? What did the MPP people do? They did a lot. They held press conferences. We held counter press conferences. Or we held press conferences. They held counter press conferences. Those were the things that we had to do. The elections are over. I am not going to go hitting my head against the wall and then what? The elections are over. The handing over ceremony, God willing, will take place on the 7th of December. So what? I'm going to do what? Hold another press conference now and say what? It's over. So don't say that defeat has mellowed me. And besides, on a daily basis, I don't wake up holding press conferences. So that's quite a bit of an unfair statement. So Kafi, like I said, we will do a lot of introspection. Why not?
Has it started?
Oh, certainly it has started. Certainly it has. At our level, at the national level, it has started. But like I'm saying, those things are internal matters. Of course, I listen to radio, and I hear some of the base point accusing fingers in all directions.
I listen to Mintry FM a lot these days to hear what people are saying, and there's a lot of very angry people calling in. And
I mean, it happens. The anger is justified. They didn't believe that they should have lost the election.
Did you not mislead them? You told them you were winning.
Rascaf. So the people don't know that.
Open the files.
Rascaf. What's his name? Is it local crisis?
We'll talk about that when we're signing off.
Local crisis.
Let's talk NDC. There was a local crisis in the NDC.
I like that. That's a good one. No, Kafi. Yes, they will be angry. They will be angry. And the anger will come from different angles and for various reasons. But like I'm saying, why? Me too, I have my own anger. Somebody else may have his own anger. But as leaders of the political party, Kafi, it would be so irresponsible on my part to wake up this morning doing this interview live on GH1 television to go pointing, accusing fingers at who? Well, at the end of the day, we are the party leaders. And uneasy is the head that wears the crown. So we'll take it in our stride. What we have to do is to go back and engage the base. Whatever it is that must be done, we will do. And make sure that we don't create any moment of a docility or a hiatus that seems to create the impression that, hey, Charlie, these guys have gone, running for cover. No. But like I'm saying, in as much as we don't intend to be an irresponsible opposition, look, like I said earlier, Kafi, if they do it and they do it well, it inures to the benefit of the country. So it is going to be my prayer that they succeed. But while I'm praying that they succeed, so that the whole of Ghana also succeeds and moves on in the right direction, we'll also ask the critical questions. You promised this, and you promised that, and you promised that. How come you're not delivering on your promises? That does not mean that you don't wish them well. In fact, it's because you wish them well. That is why you will continue to remind them about their promises.
You talked about anger from the grassroots, which you believe is understandable. How angry are you personally at this result, at this turn of events?
Oh, Kafu, let's just say that, what can I do?
Are you angry?
What can I do? I'm not angry.
Were you angry when everything happened the way it didn't?
Oh, I mean, it's human nature. You find moments of this and that because it's like, this could have been done. That could have been, but hey, you sleep, you wake up. That's why we were worried in the immediate aftermath of the president conceding. The kinds of things that were happening. You understand? The kind of, our people were being molested, harassed, and the burning of tool booths here, and all as if, hey, why? You wanted an election. I mean, we went into an election. You wanted victory, I also wanted victory. You took hard partisan line based on your thinking. I also took hard partisan based on my thinking. And let me be honest, I was happy when Nana Akufo-Addo, president-elect, last Sunday at the MPP's Thanksgiving, at the Accra Sports Stadium. Kafi, it was heartening, warming to listen to the president-elect say that, look, we finished with the elections. A lot of things were said in the build-up to the elections. A lot of things happened in the build-up to the elections. Those things had to happen, so it happened. Now that we've moved on to the other side, let us forget about the past and unite for the course ahead. And for me, I think that is a good start. And like I said, we will be a responsible opposition. We're not going to wake up every morning and just be hounding the government out of... No. They did it to us. We thought that it was not the best. So certainly, and don't also forget that This you are dealing with a very sophisticated electorate out there. You and I will have the opportunity to be on the airwaves maybe on a daily basis. But it doesn't mean that we have the best of brains. There are a lot more brains out there that don't come out on radio and television. So if you are going to be in a position and win hearts and minds, you're going to have to do it in a very decorous manner. A lot of decency. But if you're going to just wake up every morning and filibustering and thinking that, look, you're going to win hearts and minds by filibustering, no. Let the people see that you are a very deep thinking group of people in opposition. And then you talk the issue, you discuss the issues as they ought to be discussed, not because you want to just pull a veil over issues and think that everybody out there will believe what you are saying. No, so coffee. And of course, I think that going forward, of course, the media has always been critical to our development. So you guys also have a very critical role to play. I mean, it's not because suddenly the baton is in another hand. And so things that were wrong in the past have suddenly become right. Or for that matter, things that were right in the past have suddenly become wrong. Let us all accept that if it works out well, if there's free education, all Ghanaians benefit. If there's free petrol, all Ghanaians benefit. If no more taxes, all Ghanaians benefit. If there's $1 million per constituency, so for 4 years, 275 constituencies, every constituency will get $4 million. If there's one factory in every district, if there's one dam in every village, bro, make Ojimila.
That's what we all want.
Yes,
it all
yes,
happens.
yes,
Is that what you're saying? Well,
yes,
you're watching GH Today. This is Hard Talk, and I'm with the Deputy General Secretary in charge of operations for the NDC, Koku Anyidoho, Samuel Koku Anyidoho, by the way. And you can send your WhatsApp to 0288 500 600. 0288 500 600. Nana from Sunyani has reached out to us. He says, now, do you think that Nana Akufo-Addo can be president?
Oh, Kafi, he's going to be president on the 7th of January. Who's going to stop it? Why? I wanted my candidate to win. They also wanted their candidate to win. So it's not an issue. I go back to my cardinal core issue. Let peace reign. Let peace reign. Because in fact, it's in the interest of the MPP for peace to reign supreme.
How worried were you when there were reports that some of your members were being attacked?
Very worried. That is why we held the press conference last week. I think it's exactly a week today. And it was addressed by no less a person than the national chairman himself.
And he made some very serious statements that people will be forced to defend themselves after 7th of December.
Kafi.
They almost sounded like threats.
Kafi, please, don't take it out of context. That statement was built on a certain premise that we continue to respect the law enforcement agencies. In fact, in that press statement or press conference, the chairman applauded the security agencies and that we still have a lot of confidence in the security agencies. Called on the MPP to rein in their supporters. And that if after 7th January, the thinking is that now that they've gotten power, okay, it's going to be worse than before, then what they're asking for will not inure to the benefit of anybody. Because you and I, if I'm in my home, I heard some MPP boys, look, after 7th January, they're going to move into the homes of NBC people. Carrying Ghana must go back because there's loot in your house, so they will break into your house whether they like it or not. Kafi, it's only thieves who break into people's homes. So if you break into somebody's home, and the person has what it takes to defend himself or herself, and the person defends himself, is that not allowed by law? Self-defense is allowed. It's in the law. Self-defense, self-protection. So, that's the point the chairman was making, that if people are compelled to protect themselves, well, but we don't want to get there. That's why I still continue to talk about this thing about President Rawlings handed over a peaceful Ghana to President Kufuor. President Kufuor handed over a peaceful Ghana to President Mills. President Mills passed on and is resting in peace. President Mahama took over. On the 7th of January, 2017, President Mahama is going to hand over a peaceful Ghana to Nana Akufo-Addo Dankwa. It is our prayer and our hope that he will continue on that path of peace. And then when his time is over, and he also has to hand over, we'll hand over a peaceful Ghana so that we don't destroy what the future generations must come and enjoy. But our forebears did not destroy it. Why should we destroy it in our time?
But do you take those threats seriously? Are you prepared for any eventualities if somebody should decide to break into your house and
I'm not going to say that openly, Kafi, but I think that, like I said, the laws of the land allow for self-defense. As we sit down here now, if some moron just walks up on this 4th floor and comes to attack us live on set, will we all sit down and watch the moron attack us? The first thing will be to make sure that collectively we come together and, hey, what do you want here? It is human nature. And in fact, what do you call it? Self-preservation. Am I lying?
Yeah.
Is that not the first instinct of mankind?
Yes.
Self-preservation.
But there were also reports that some of your members were staging events to court sympathy.
Kafi, please.
How do you respond to those ones?
Please. I will not even comment on it. I mean, let's give, and that's the point the chairman made. Give us some credit. We have lost an election. Then we start beating ourselves. To score what point? Please.
Sympathy.
We are a very serious-minded political party. Don't even go there. Ask another question, please.
Why do you think you rub a lot of the opposition members the wrong way?
I don't. I speak to the issues forcefully when I have to. And Kafi, so it ought to be.
They find you disrespectful to their candidate and to the vice president elect.
Come on. Kafi.
You've made all kinds of statements
please, Kafi.
I want to repeat.
Yeah, Kafi, what hasn't come from their end against President Rawlings in the past, President Mills, President Maham? It is politics to the extent that you don't go into the gutters and start using unacceptable and printable this thing. Master, that is it. What do you need to hear? They will kill. They will maim. They will club. We heard all kinds of things. I heard one of their MPs also say that, now that they have won, people will now realize that he's a gentleman after all, and that all the things that he was saying, he needed to do it to energize the support base. Kafi, the elections are over. You're going to have opposition politics. You're going to have the government in. But always in the build-up to an election, definitely in an election year, the dynamics change. You want to state your position forcefully. Somebody else wants to state his position forcefully. So is the game. But hey, it's over. You have it. You wanted it. I also wanted it. I've handed it over to you. Please. Just go ahead and fulfill your promises. and then we'll all be happy. That's all. That's what we expect them to do. So Kafi, like I said, in 16 years, people have not taken a break. God does some of these things. People will peel back a bit, take a well-deserved a break. And then if there's some reorganization to be done, it will be done. But we can assure the nation that we are going to be a very, very, very responsible opposition.
I remember years ago, MPP supporters tried to prevent President Kufuor from attending the inauguration of President Mahama. On the 7th of January 2017, there will be another inauguration.
We shall all be there.
Will you be there?
We shall all be there.
Who is we?
NDC will be there. Koku, Anyidoho, by the kind grace of God, I'll be there. I'm sure my boss, General Hospital, will be there. National Chairman will be there. Because they will create a place. NDC. We will be there. Kafi, nothing has happened though. Nothing has happened. What has just happened is that there's a change of guard. But otherwise, this geographical entity called Ghana continues to remain our homeland. And we shall all live here in peace and in tranquility. And the onus now lies on the incoming government or the new government to ensure the peace and stability of this country, because we will no longer be in charge of the security services. They will be in charge of it. So let them come and build them. And that is development. That is continuity. Then we can move forward together as a people. But because elections are over and you have won election and I'm in opposition, so what? I should so many things are on social media.
Yes, I saw a picture of you. I saw a picture of you in an Arab dress, and they said you were somewhere in the Libyan desert, running. And that one I discounted it, but I was at the passport office last week and I met two of your top members there. It could be that they just came there to renew their passports.
No. Let me tell you what actually is happening.
Are some of your people running away?
No. Let me tell you what is happening with the passport issue. In government, you will travel on diplomatic passport or service passport or both. So there are quite a number of officials who don't have the green booklet.
The regular one for
the regular one, like the regular one for everybody, because.
Not everybody, people like me.
No, don't
you probably travel on service passport.
Exactly.
I don't travel on a service passport. So the one that I
So you have to have a private one, a personal one. So it's not because people want to run away.
So we should be seeing more of these.
Or you'll see more of that. People have, because when they come, it is more than 90%, 95%. There's a 95% likelihood that they will recall the service passports and the diplomatic passports. And I think that is, and if they did that, in all fairness to them, it's not because they are harassing anybody. I think it's standard practice. The passports are given to you because of the office that you occupy. You understand? So you deserve the diplomatic status. If you are no longer there, it only stands to reason that you don't deserve it any longer. So if they do recall, it will be in the right direction. But you don't want to wait for them around looking for. So while there's time, then you go and do your own your green booklet. Because what's going to happen is that in opposition, there will be lots of travels. And if you see somebody at the airport, if you see Koku Anyidoho at the airport, it's not because he's running away. I'm running a political party. I'm in charge of the secretariat. We get all kinds of invitations from sister political parties, from other countries. So you will travel as a matter of your job. Apart from that, as a private citizen, you are allowed to go on private trips. So if you see somebody at the airport, it's not because the person is running away from who or from what. It's because the person has to travel. 8 years in opposition, how many times in...
From possible witch hunting. That's what some of your members will say.
Thank you. And that is why it is important that this witch hunting thing, like I said, Kafui, the laws of the land are very clear in black and white. But where in the past we saw certain things happen, Chachuchikata is in church on a Sunday. It's picked up in church and all kinds of things. Let's say we just don't want to go back there. Let's walk up a more positive road. That's when President Mills came. And let's say he took some flack from some of our people when he said, Father for all. And that he wanted to change the face of governance. So we move away from the politics of vindictiveness. Because we don't stop the vicious cycle. Well, it happened to him when we lost in 2000. They went to his home, raided his home, created all kinds of problems when there was no problem. President Rawlings was being called to BNI, this, that. For President Mills, when he came, the question was like, Koku, do we want to go back down that path? Let us forget about the past and forge ahead in unity. The people didn't vote for us to come and harass our political opponents. They voted for us because we said we'll build a better Ghana. We'll expand infrastructure, build a strong and resilient economy, create jobs, and govern in an open, honest, and transparent manner. That was the 2008, the 4 wings on which we flew. It says, Koku, if we don't deliver on these promises, and you want to go witch hunting, Ghanaians will not forgive us. And it's true. Ghanaians want to move on. Yes, if some law must be used and used properly and not capriciously to ask a few questions, why not? I mean, hey, people want answers. But this business where out of nothing you want to create.
It is also likely that some people from your administration may be questioned by this independent public prosecutor that the president-elect.
Have they set it up?
He says he will set it up when they come assume the reins of office.
Well,
what are your thoughts on that? Right, IPP.
He said he was going to set up the office. Careful, if he sets up the office and by law it exists and it must work, why not? It's all about the rule of law. So that's also that one. If he sets it up properly, and there's all the proper legal framework that allows the office to operate. Kafui, what can you say?
You're watching Hard Talk with Koku Anyidoho, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, and we're looking at the NDC post-elections. 0288 500 600 is the number, 0288 500 600 for the WhatsApp. I got a message asking whether and now you've been humble.
Please, where arrogance means what? Ask another question. It's not about arrogance, Kafui. Why?
You are the first. That's what you give off. No. Some people feel that that's what you give.
They're allowed to feel that.
Do you understand?
No. They're allowed to feel that way. they're allowed to feel that way. That is how they choose to look at it. But there are a majority, more people. Look, Kafi, there are some people, no matter what you do, they will never like you. In fact, the more you do the right thing, the more they even hate you. The more they hate you because you are doing the right thing and you are getting credit for it. You understand? So as for that one, but if you are defending your party and you are doing it forcefully because you believe in the cause of the party, that does not mean you are arrogant. You understand? But hey, why? The MPP lost elections.
Give me one.
When they lost the elections, did they eat humble pie? It's not about eating humble pie. It's about the fact that there's only one Ghana. We are not going to necessary dust. We'll stay in opposition and work.
I've heard calls for Mr. Mahama to be retained for 2020. What do you think about that?
Kafi. NDC is a democratic party. We believe in democracy. We have come into opposition, or let's say we are just about entering opposition.
On the eve of opposition.
On the eve of opposition. This party has a tradition. This party has elders. This party has supporters. This party has executives. Kafi, I will not sit down here and say anything until the party has taken a full decision. So, we will work. Why? The truth of the matter
says you will rest for a while.
What? We supported President Rawlings when he went out of office. President Tamils, in his grave, we still support him. You think that we will not support and defend President Mahama when he becomes ex-president? We shall.
Few messages. So, ask Koku if he feels the Peace Council is relevant now, especially after bashing of some of its members like Mensa Otabo publicly. Dennis from Ablekuma, is the Peace Council relevant?
Some of these things.
Is it relevant?
It is very relevant. Who has said the Peace Council is irrelevant? Who can quote me anywhere and say the Peace Council?
No, he is asking whether for you it's relevant.
It continues to remain relevant and will continue to be relevant. In fact, post-elections is when we need the Peace Council even more to continue to hammer on the need for peace. Okay. So it's relevant.
There's a question here. There's a comment here. I'm a card-bearing member of the MPP, but this morning I see a thumbs up to Koku Anyidoho. He's a gentleman indeed. The elections are over. Let's move Ghana forward. That's Clement from Chubudum, one of my favorite places in Ghana.
Good morning, Clement.
I'd like to ask Koku about his opinion on the issue of the general citizenry asking the president-elect to prosecute outgoing government officials associated with corrupt practices. Do you see that as witch hunting? That's Pineapple from Agona Swedro. What a name.
I think, well, he's asking a question. Viewers should forgive me. I seem to be wiping my forehead.
Yeah.
And about times, the sun is coming up.
Yes, no worries.
Oh, well, certainly the president is not about to they'll be handing over notes. In fact, that's what their appointees are busy doing now, Kafi. Preparing the handing over notes. So let them finish preparing the handing over notes. The incoming government comes in. They will look at, of course, there's a transition team in place. They are working together. That is the beauty of it. For me, that is the look. You talk about MPP supporters, and let me salute Clement. Because I have loads of MPP friends, loads and loads of MPP friends, from primary school through secondary school, through the university, through my various working places. Of course, people don't know that I worked in various places. They thought that I just walked into politics.
Yes, you were once a banker. Do you miss banking?
Well, let's say I'm enjoying politics. I love the experience that I had almost 9 years in the financial sector. I left as a head of treasury and investments at the point in time. Of course, but before that, even, I worked in GBC when there was only GBC.
Yeah, you were a broadcaster.
Yeah, exactly. And then I worked also with the United Nations High Commission for Refugees office here in Ghana. In fact, I birthed the first batch of Sierra Leonean refugees when the civil war began in Sierra Leone, because I was in charge of social services at the UNHCR office here in Ghana. And so one has come into this with loads of experiences from all kinds of places, but it looks like very often people don't really know the full picture, and so they look at you from the tip of the thing without going deeper. So, hey, I am going to enjoy working in I mean, I've been in opposition before.
Yeah, for 8 years.
8 years.
So you can use your valuable experience. For those who haven't lost an election before, you can teach them something.
Yes, and maybe this loss also will be a learning experience for the younger generation who really never experienced opposition. And so in government, they found themselves there. And so the experience of opposition was not there to guide them.
Are those the babies with sharp teeth?
Please, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that all of us. So we'll work hard. And for me, let me just say thumbs up to the national executives of the party. I think the general secretary is a fantastic. I mean, the experience of working with Professor Mills as an opposition leader when I was running the Koku Hill office in charge of communications and managing the campaign from there. Then the experience of working with him at the presidency.
How much do you miss Professor Mills?
Oh, a lot. I do. I mean, a lot. A lot. I mean, it was such an honor on a daily basis to drink from that deep fountain of knowledge. You know, that deep fountain of knowledge. That deep fountain. And it was a father-son relationship. It was more than a working relationship. It was that close. And obviously, he loved this country. He served his nation well. He was a good man. And beyond that, his strong belief in God and how he made some of us begin to become more religious and prayerful.
What's the deepest thing he told you?
Anybody who thinks I'm a fool is a bigger fool.
He told you that?
Say, Koku, anybody who thinks I'm a fool is a bigger fool. The fact that I don't talk all the time doesn't mean I don't know what's going on. And that was his deep sense of leadership. And one thing he also said, Kafui, was, Koku, if you want to be a good leader, you would have to learn to forgive and forget. If you want to be a good leader and you don't learn how to forgive and forget, and you want to pay people back, you'll never be a good leader. So as you move along, learn from me. Open up. People will offend you, same as you will offend people. But you know, just open up and accommodate.
How did he feel about all those insults, Professor?
I remember one. I remember one morning when I think Eslausu and John Bwedu, one of these networks. The vitriolic. So it's like, Koku, hey, have I disgraced myself that much? So because of politics, some of these people I taught in school, I marked their scripts. Some of them, we know how even we help them pass. Yet today, because of politics, they will insult me. Koku. Anyway, no, he was human, and he felt it.
What was his biggest mistake?
His biggest credit is that he was very accommodating.
You are setting your own question.
Yes, his biggest credit was that he was very accommodating, and people misconstrued it
as a mistake.
Yeah.
What's the future for you, Koku? Anyidoho?
Oh, Kafui, I think that let me thank the NDC supporters. I think that all of us collectively, we worked hard. Our leader, President Mahama, Vice President, His Excellency Emisata, of course, His Excellency President Mahama, His Excellency Emisata, party leadership, of which I am a part, the General Secretary, Head of the Secretariat, the National Chairman, all our members across the country. I think that we want to thank everybody.
You're forgetting Mr. Rawlings.
The founder, of course. The founder. Please forgive me. Yeah, the founder of the party.
Was he an afterthought?
And then the party elders. This party has leadership, the Council of Elders. And then some who are not even members of the Council of Elders, but are the gurus of the party. They began the whole process, and today they have allowed us and given us the opportunity to continue. It is our hope and prayer that will not destroy what they have given us, so that others will come and continue with from where we'll leave off years down the line. So, Kafui, yes, it's going to be a battle out there in opposition. There's a lot that we're going to have to do to energy. Thankfully, it's not like our base voted against us. So the base still exists. Let's go back. Let's engage and engage and engage and engage and re-engage. And we must do that in humility and accepting that, look, hey, you can't take things for granted, take the people for granted. Once we do that and engage, I believe that certain decisions will be taken, and leadership will speak to those issues cogently and poignantly. And but hey, I salute the foot soldiers. They have been there. They'll continue to be there. And of course, my friends in the media, and my friends in the MPP, and even those who dislike me and hate me. Nobody should come to my house and come and kill me.
Really?
Oh, I've gotten some hate calls. Oh, yes, I've gotten some hate calls. Oh, yeah.
What did they say?
Oh, Kafi. Not that I'm scared. No, but...
have you written a will?
Please. Why? What kind of question is that?
Yeah, it's preparation. In case something happens.
This is so unfair. Do people don't know that you are my nephew?
I've told them already.
Have you told them that you are my nephew?
Yes,
That your mother and I...
Have you written a will?
No, not yet. I'm not about to die.
You're not about to die.
Ghana will not die.
And neither will Koku.
Oh,
it's in God's hands.
It's in God's hands, Kafi. But let me just, I think that you guys also, on the lighter side, the EIB, you've done well.
Thank you.
You've been around not too long, but you've managed to cut across the whole circuit, and you've really put yourself in a niche market. At least in Kumasi, I've visited Ebusian and Ultimate. Here in Accra, of course, with you, and then Bolare, Star, and blah blah. And I must say that your Kumasi office, where it's located, sweet, nice ambience.
Thank you very much.
I have not done the Takrady stretch yet.
Please go there, Empire.
Empire, good,
yes,
good. So, I think you guys have done well.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations to management and those of you who are doing it on a daily basis. I mean, you see, one thing in opposition is that, actually, let me be frank with you. I've gotten calls from one or two radio stations that want me to come and I think one TV station. They want me to come and be a pundit.
Yes.
On their programs, because they think that, look, Koku, you've really executed yourself well over the years. I mean, yes, some of us may have our challenges, but we think that if you can have time, we're prepared to give you 1 hour or 2 hours. You decide which day, which time, and run your own show, because we know people will listen and people will want to share. So, Kafi, hey, nothing ain't lost.
The future is bright.
Very bright. Very bright. And it's not about me. It's about the NDC. I think that the future is bright. This is only a momentary setback. But our record stands tall. I mean, when I heard Mr. Yosef Mafu say that, look, we're not coming to invest in infrastructure. We're coming to invest in managing the economy. I said, wow, thank God. At least the infrastructure base has been created. So if they don't invest in infrastructure, Rawlings began it. President Mills continued. I mean, that is the NDC. President Mahama. We salute everybody.
Who is Margaret Johnson?
Margaret who?
Johnson.
Who's Margaret Johnson?
She writes with a lens. She's supposed to be related to you.
Look. Oh, you mean Margaret Jackson?
Jackson, I beg your pardon.
Not Johnson. You don't even get the name right. You see how you create confusion for no happen.
Margaret Jackson, who is she?
Look. I don't know. Is she supposed to be a columnist?
Yes. Yes, she's supposed to be your pseudonym.
Me?
You are supposed to be writing on the name of Margaret Jackson for the lens.
No.
It's not you?
Look, Koku Anyidoho is supposed to be right. Of course, let me say that you and I, the family we come from, we have a knack for writing. I mean, we thank God. So we write. But certainly I am not Margaret Jackson.
You're not Margaret Jackson?
No.
All right.
I'm not Margaret Jackson.
All right. He's Samuel Kofi.
Koku.
Anyidoho. You have another name. It's hidden there somewhere. It just escaped my mind, but it will come. It's an Ewe name. Give it to me. Sichofe. SSKA. Samuel Sichofe Koku Anyidoho, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, bro.
And all the best.
Thank you.
All right.
Charlie, call me anytime.
I will.
Oh, sure.
I will.
All right, then.
Yes.
Cheers.
He's also my uncle. That's why I have to punch him harder. All right. So stay with us. Grace will take it up.